What's going on, YouTube? Today I have the inside scoop for y'all on how you can max out that takeover meter as fast as you can in game. Now, as you probably know already, having that flame around your feet is crucial, especially in in-game clutch moments. But before we get into it, if you've been here before, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new, welcome to the channel, and go ahead and smash that subscribe button so you can stay up to date when I drop new videos. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I know a lot of y'all may be thinking, all you have to do is just throw oops, get points, and ball out, and you're partially right. But the thing you're probably missing is your player setup. And what I mean by that is, you need to set up your player's badges correctly. One of the best things that you can do for yourself when you're creating your My Player is checking out each of the badges and seeing what they each do. A really good source to check out for different player builds is 2K Labs. That way, you can see what badges work together and what build is best for your playstyle. So once you do your research, you'll notice that in each badge category, there's badges that increase or protect your takeover meter when they're activated. So if you haven't guessed already, those are the badges that you want to equip. So for example, for finishing badges, there's Heat Seeker. And if you take a look at the description, it tells you that the badge gives you additional takeover boost for all inside shots. So if you made a build where you mainly get your buckets inside the paint or just generally inside the perimeter, you probably want to equip this badge, especially if you're trying to max out that takeover meter as fast as you can. So if we're moving on, we can go ahead and look at the shooting badges. And what we got here is Antifreeze and Hot Shot. Antifreeze is exactly what it sounds like. It helps prevent you from getting cold and from you losing your takeover meter progress. So if you're one of those players that consistently mess up or just have bad luck once you're about to get your takeover meter, you might want to equip this. And to follow that up, we have Hot Shot. So if you're a shooter, you definitely want to equip this because you get a takeover boost just for making jump shots. So if you can imagine you're one of those players that just knock down greens all the time, you'll have your takeover meter maxed out in no time, especially if you have this badge on Hall of Fame. Now, going Hall of Fame may be a little bit of overkill, but it's really up to you to test out how fast you can get that takeover meter to move. So just play around with it and see what you can do. Now, if we look at the playmaking badges, we have Special Delivery. For this one, I don't really run it too much because it can be really risky to pull it off, especially if you're not careful. In order for you to activate this badge, you need to pull off a flashy pass. And not only does it give a boost to your takeover meter, it gives a boost to the receiver's takeover meter. So if you really think about this, you can double this up, or I would like to say you can combo this with the shooter. When you use that flashy pass with the Special Delivery badge on, the shooter can use that Hot Shot badge and boost their takeover meter even more. So just think about this when you're trying to figure out who you want to play with. Are you going to play with friends? You're going to play with randoms? And what badges you guys can really equip that can really benefit each other. So just take a second really to think about that when you're making your builds. Finally, we have my favorite thing to do in the game, and that's defense. So if we're looking into defensive badges, you'll notice that there's two badges that can affect your takeover meter. And that's Hot Stopper and Heart Crusher. Heart Crusher, it doesn't really affect your takeover meter, but it affects your opponent's takeover meter. And if you look at the description, it actually reduces their takeover meter when you make a good defensive play or a good defensive stop when you're guarding that character. So if you've ever been playing somebody and for some reason, whenever you just do a minor mistake, your player just goes cold, most likely they're running Heart Crusher. And if they have it on Hall of Fame, you don't want to make any type of mistake because it's just gonna kill your takeover meter. So let's get back to talking about how to increase your takeover meter. So if you're a defensive player, you need to have Hot Stopper on. This badge gives you a takeover meter boost for any defensive play that you make. So if your main thing is defense, and you're making defensive plays throughout the whole game, you can bet that takeover meter definitely gonna max out extremely fast. Especially when you tie that up with the offensive plays that you'll be making if you equip some of those other badges. You're just getting takeover meter boosts on the offensive side and the defensive side. So just make sure you think about that when you're thinking about how to put on those badges and what level you should put them on. For me, when it comes to defense, I put that bad boy on Hall of Fame. So now that we talked about all the different badges that can boost your takeover meter, make sure you guys think about how you can equip them in the right way with the right team and the right build. And you may be able to fill up that takeover meter just in a few plays. And you know, once you set that team takeover on fire, you'll be able to dominate teams. So that's it for now, fellas. To wrap it up, I have some gameplay for y'all when I ran into some randoms and had some fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something new. If you did, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, bang on that notification bell, and I'll catch you on the next one.